Hi, guys and dolls. How are you? I hope you are well. So, I'm going to talk about things I've learned in my past, most recent manipulationship. It was a manipulation, it was not a real connection, it was all fake. Okay. That individual is so accustomed to manipulating people that he would not know anything different. It's so natural for him to be a snake. It's so natural for him to play with people's heads and take advantage of people emotionally and all of that. It's just natural for him. One thing that I learned during that whole nightmare was the person was messing with my mind so much that I was gaslighting myself, meaning I thought that this was my reality, that this is something's wrong with me, something's wrong with my hormones and all. And yes, I am in menopause, but that's not the point. The point is, I thought it was me when in reality, it was the complete and utter lack of respect that I was getting in that situation. Because I wasn't flipping out and getting angry at everybody in my life, just this one person. But when you're in the middle of it, I thought I was broken. I thought I have a hormone imbalance with my, with my menopause, and it had nothing to do with that. It had to do with the utter and complete lack of respect that I was on the receiving end, you know, of. And so, if you're ever in a situation where through manipulation, the person is tricking you to believe that you are bad, you are out of control, you are vicious. I want you to look at your relationships with other people. Are those relationships impacted also, or is it just you and this person that are having so many issues? If it's you and this one person, then it's not you. Okay? It's not you. And as I told you before, from Lee Hammock, he is a self aware narcissist. Okay, one of the very few that admit that they have a problem. Uh, and he said that one of the things that narcs will do is speed. That is one of their favorite weapons. So we have to speed this relationship. We got to go as fast as humanly possible. As fast as the relationship, situationship, manipulationship is going, it will end just as fast because the person's playing you. I was played. I was toyed with. I was tricked, hoodwinked, and bamboozled. Okay. Um, and then when all else fails, another thing that's a typical favorite of a narc is to play victim. And the person would turn into a 2-year-old and resort to, why are you talking to me like that? Why are you yelling at me? Why are you using that kind of language? I don't use that kind of language with you. Right. But you manipulate people in other ways. You mind bend them in other ways. So don't sit here with your calm, quiet voice and act like you are, next in line to be the Pope, because you're not. You're far from it. You're sneaky, you're manipulative, you cannot be trusted. You're backstabbing. You're a taker. Okay. And as much as the individual talked about, and I told you this in another video, as much as they talk about monogamy, and romance, all of that is a ton of bullshit. Um, the person will never be faithful. If you're having an emotional affair when you're involved with somebody and you're trying to get with somebody else, you obviously wouldn't know monogamy if it slapped you in your face really violently hard, which is what the person deserves at this point. But yeah, narcs aren't faithful. Even if they don't cheat physically, if you're cheating emotionally, you're a cheater. You're a cheater. You're a fucking cheater. That's all there is to it. And the person was emotionally cheating on me with someone else. And as I told you guys before, that person did not want him. So he tried to cut as many throats as he could to get to this individual, and that person did not even want him. I love karma. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So, you know, you get to the point where and I discussed this with a dear friend of mine. You know who you are. Okay. I talked to you earlier. You know who you are. But we lose ourselves in these situations with people like this. We lose ourselves because we are seeking validation and love from externally, from outside of ourselves. And when we give too much to a taker, you not only get taken, but you're losing the love you have for yourself because you're looking for external love. When you're looking outside of yourself for that type of love and validation, you are losing what you should be giving yourself. You're looking outside for something that you need to give yourself within. Okay, and we talked about this. She and I talked about this earlier today. That never works when you're starting to lose yourself because you are convinced that everything you saw in the beginning is how love is supposed to be and how relationships are supposed to be, and you don't want to lose that no matter what. But the reality is all of that is not real if you are with a manipulator and a taker. So none of that's real. So you're struggling to hold on to a fantasy. You're struggling to hold on to a cartoon character. This person is not real. The nice, warm, loving, kind, kissy face, hold your hand, I love you so much. And it's all fucking bullshit. It is designed to bend your brain. It's all designed to bend your brain. So instead of looking for love externally, we have to have love internally. Nobody on the outside could just hand that to you. Nobody can just give that to you. That's something you have to give yourself. And you have to have boundaries. And like I told my friend earlier, one of my friends earlier, I said, you know, when I realized that I went into the hospital, okay, and I had surgery, and this bastard didn't even so much as make a fucking phone call to see how I was doing. Did not contact my friend. How is she doing? Is she in the recovery room? Did surgery already end? Did she get seen on time? What's going on? There was this much concern. Zero concern. And I made the mistake, and it won't happen again. Okay? I made the mistake whenever I did get home from the hospital. I had metal removed from my leg, and that's a long story. I had issues with my leg, and you guys know about that stuff. But if you don't know, ask me and I'll talk to you about it. I broke my leg over a year ago and had issues. But anyway, when that individual had zero concern, I actually I called him, and here I am on crutches and on a knee wheeler thing. And I said, do you want company? And he's like, sure. Truth be told, I never should have went to see him, and I should have dumped him that day. Because if somebody is so cold-blooded and so goddamn mentally ill and so disturbed and so fucking selfish that they can't even pick up a fucking phone, something that their face is glued to 24/7 anyway, you can't even text somebody and say, hey, how is she doing? Is she okay? You can't even do that. I should have dropped him that day. I never should have gone over to see him, number one. And number two, I should have just dumped him. Because these are red flags. You don't have to convince the right person to care about you. They already do. You don't have to convince them to take off work or take a half a day off work if you're that fucking fucked up over money. Because some people are in love with money. Narcissists are notorious for practically fucking money. In their bed, they're practically humping it, okay? If that person doesn't have the decency to give a shit, cut them off. That's a test. That's a test. Look at a crisis that you're in. Look at the fact that you were in a hospital. Look at the fact that you're in labor with both of y'all's child. Look at the fact that someone died in your fucking family. See if this motherfucker cares. Because if they don't, you got to drop their ass. They're showing you, hey, I'm a piece of shit. And I'm self-centered. And all I care about is me. I love myself so much, I kiss my reflection in the mirror. That's when you let them be with themselves. That's when you let them fall in love with themselves every day, because believe me, that's what they're going to do. And you dump them. You dump them. You don't reach for them, and you don't go see them after you are on crutches and underwent another surgery. You don't go see them. They come to you. They bring you flowers or your favorite drink or your favorite whatever. Sorry, I'm getting frizz out of my hair. You dump them. You cannot get love externally. You have to give it to yourself first. And when you give it to yourself first, you're not going to give this individual another opportunity to be disrespectful. Another opportunity to hug you like this. Because they really don't want to hug you because they're trying to fuck somebody else while they're with you. And they're telling that individual, hey, I'm going to dump her. And like I said in another video, if that person is smart, they're going to be like, well, shit, one day you're probably going to dump me and tell somebody else that you're trying to screw. Hey, I'm going to dump her. And then you're going to get with that one. And then you're going to eventually tell somebody, I'm going to get rid of her for you. And the shit's going to continue because the person doesn't know fuck all about a relationship, doesn't know fuck all about a connection because they're too in love with themselves. That will never, ever, 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 ever change. The person is mentally ill. Narcissists are mentally ill. They are toddlers. They are babies. They are crybabies. Oh my God, this person's picking on me. Motherfucker, what did you do to deserve that? Don't sit here and act like a pussy. What the fuck did you do to deserve that? Oh, they're not trying to tell you all that. They're not trying to tell you all that. They just want to cry and have everybody feel sorry for them. And truth be told, the person has been with children prior to me. Not literally children, but children, half his age. Narcissists will deliberately choose very, very young girls because they're ditzy. They're easy to manipulate. They're easy to make, I'm going to make you obey me. If I'm a narcissist, I'm going to make you obey me. I'm going to bully you. I'm going to do what the fuck I want to do. And since you're so young and you think the world of me, you'll be like, okay, I never get what I want, but it's okay. One day I will. And that's a perfect person. Not saying all young people are ditzy, but when you're young and you've been sheltered and you don't have life experience, you're gonna you're gonna put up with a whole lot more than somebody who's older, more seasoned, and who has a wick about that tall with men's bullshit or women's bullshit for that matter. You got a wick about that big, so you're not gonna be like, okay. When the person craps on you every single opportunity they get, your needs are irrelevant. I'll do tiny things that you want, but anything that's really important to you ain't never going to happen. And I'll give you a million reasons why. We have to give the love to ourselves that these little motherfuckers are incapable of giving us. Do not look externally for love. Look internally. Give yourself the love, because when you love yourself, you're going to put your foot down and say, oh, wait a second, we're in a relationship and you don't have the decency to make sure I didn't die on the operating table? Fuck you, I'm dead to you. That's what you tell that person. If you have to call your girlfriends afterwards, after you dump them and cry your eyes out, that's what you do. But in the meantime, you get rid of the demon. Because they don't give a shit if you flatlined on the table. They didn't give a fucking phone call, no text or nothing. And that's just one of the many things the son of a bitch did. So when you have your boundaries and you love yourself, you ain't going to put up with that no more. You're going to address it with the person and say, well, what was that all about? And of course, they're going to have a list as long as the Mississippi River of why they behaved in such a way. I was tired. I was busy at work. I had this going on. I had that going on. The reality is they don't give a shit. That's the real reality. Okay? So don't go by what people tell you. They'll tell you all kinds of bullshit that's not true. And it's designed to pull you in, to suck you into the vortex, to suck you into the hole. Look at their behavior. Look at their actions, because actions don't lie. Actions do not lie. Do not search externally for love. You have to give it to yourself, because the majority of the individuals that are out here now, they're not capable of giving you love for whatever reason, man or woman. They're not capable. You give it to yourself, honey, because you deserve it. All right? I love you guys. Take care.